mobile home lot. And the Sadlers used to live next door to us there. It's all grown up there now. Isn't it ironic? There's a green bug sitting in the driveway, Eric. There's Tony, Jasmine, and me on top of the hill down there known as Cahokia Mountains on Cahokia Park. I was right behind the trailer park we used to live in down there over by Collinsville. We lived there when I was stationed in St. Louis, Missouri back in 68, 69. We stopped by and did the old arch in St. Louis. It's down along the river there. The riverfront. It's our first night out, I believe. We camped on a little campground down south of St. Louis. That's our rig there. And notice we made it 2 big red metal boxes, had those loaded with goods, and we had everything packed in those, and you just set them things out and set her up before the trip was over. Shoot, Eric could get the tent set up by the time we got everything else ready to go. We got real proficient. We could set up a campground in 10 minutes when we arrived. As Eric checking out a possible cave site down there in Little St. Louis, Missouri. We left camp that morning, was heading west, out towards Kansas. And there we are, hitting Kansas. Me, and Jasmine, and T-Bone, and Dee Dee. Roadside shot somewhere in Kansas. Shot of the Dunn Ranch out in Kansas. This is a shot of Eric sitting up the old tents on the about the second night out, I think. We're somewhere over in Kansas. There's Eric again and a faithful dog, Dee Dee. Dee Dee the dog. He's one of those Kansas historical markers. I guess it was telling about all the buffalo that they used to have in that area. That's Eric out in the daggone field there. We were just taking a picture of the big irrigation outfits they had out there. They had big irrigation lines that run out and they go around in a circle. Stopped here in Kansas, Fort Dodge, and it was a real tourist ripoff. It was a reproduction of an old frontier town. It had tourist written all over it, so we didn't stay there too long. We just went by and looked at Boot Hill and took off. We got our picture under 3rd and Wide Earp Street before we left. And look in the background and see how touristy it was. This is a big cattle feed lot. We smelt that thing about 25 miles before we got to it. We herd a bunch of beef together and just feed them and ship them out. Thanks to high heaven and back. Tony and Jasmine looking for some wildlife, I guess. Out along the Kansas highway. Okay, here we hit Oklahoma now. Getting a little further west. It's just an old abandoned homestead out there in the middle of the prairie. It was real lonesome. Stopped by and took a picture of it. It was just a shot of the highway there, just long, straight, and the farmland on each side. You see for miles and miles. Something you've seen a lot of, windmills stuck out in the middle of nowhere. You drill wells and put that windmill there, and it keeps it tank full for the cattle or whatever livestock they got around. There's the group out there in the wild boonies. We're coming into New Mexico now. Further west. And here's another little breather stop. Notice that well paved highway there. Just a little butte there, like, and then out in the western scenery now. This is a little campground we got to way back in New Mexico, way in the off-beaten path. It's back in a little lake. Not too many people back there. We had the place all by ourselves. Camped the first night on top of that hill there. But it got so windy that night, almost blew us off there. So we moved down into the little valley the next night. Shot the place at sunset. Real neat little place. Out in the middle of nowhere. Picture of the campground there. John Spain and me slept in the van, and Tony and Eric slept in that tent. And the first night we were there, boy, I tell you, the wind whistled and you could hear the old tent out there going flop, 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 flop. We was really knocking it around. But it stayed there. There's John Spain preparing a meal. So the scenery shot of the area there. Lake. There's probably a little creek, and they dammed it up into a fair-sized little reservoir. And while we're there, we made a run down into Texas. Down into the Panhandle there. See what was going on. Another shot of that Texas scenery. Notice all the trees way up yonder on the horizon. At our campground. Tony and John Spade have been on a hike, probably to the bathrooms on top of the hill up there. Here we're getting ready to start off on a hike. We're going to hike around the local neighborhood and see what's going on, see what's in the area. Eric's got his backpack. Some of the local scenery there. If you look real close, you can see Dee Dee under the rock down there in the shade. That's where she navigated from one shady spot to the other. This shot is a little out of sequence there. That's the Dunes National Park. We stopped there, and what it is, we're standing out there, the wind is blowing that sand, and just like a sandblaster, just cutting you there. This is some kind of ruins like we found in our hike, probably the remains of an old shepherd's or old settler's house or something. Some rock walls. The ground got too hot for old Dee Dee to walk on, so she wouldn't walk, so we picked her up and put her in Eric's pack, and he packed her. The ground was so hot, the ground was hot. Got the pack and rode and didn't say nothing, boy, she liked it. Shot of the camp at night, sunset. We'd moved over the hill there out of the wind. We were moving on down the road, and it's just an old abandoned house or homestead out in the prairie there. We're back in New Mexico, so we just stopped by and look it over. It's what Dee Dee wandered up on and sniffed around on. There's a rattlesnake. It was laying back up along the wall there. Didn't bother her, he just rattled a little bit and took off. He let us know he didn't appreciate us around. We left. Picked up our dog and left. Here's Eric getting a little driving time in. Notice that well-paved highway. We were in the back roads, heading out toward Mount Capulon. I guess they were left over from the 30s when it dried up. Everything blew away out there. Been a little old general store there, a little store at one time for business out in the middle of nowhere. Might have been the remains of what was once a town. And that's some horses we stopped by and took a look at. Here's another rest stop on the road to New Mexico, somewhere over getting near Mount Capulon. Another scenery shot. Another scenery shot there, the old van in the foreground. Just scenery shots here as we go along.